I really have no idea why I'm starting with Die Hard for this, but like I want to talk about like a bunch of different franchises. So I can take a break from singing Brian Sucks. I want to talk about like some films and video games, specifically like the entire franchise. Like what do I think about each and every one of the series, each installment. So I like to eventually get to like Indiana Jones and Harry Potter, but today I'll start with Die Hard. There's only like 5 movies of the franchise. Currently, during this video, they're working on a sixth, but they've been working on the sixth one since God knows how long. So who knows if they'll ever finish it. Um, Die Hard 5 really screwed everything up so bad that they're having a really hard time making another Die Hard movie. But anyway, the first Die Hard movie, I actually watched kind of with my mom. We watched it in 2 separate rooms, and we were just yelling out how awesome the movie was across from each other. And it had two great villains, and Bruce Willis was actually pretty awesome in the movie. And it took place in like a one location. It took place like this building terrorists have taken over, blah blah blah. But the one thing I really liked about that movie the most, I watched the movie like 100 times. That and Die Hard 3, I used to watch them like over. Like I used to watch them like every day. But I loved the first Die Hard more, just because it actually has more of a story to it, which is not really expected out of a movie like that. They were originally going to get Arnold Schwarzenegger and I forget. I think it was Sylvester Stallone. I know they were trying to get Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was to be Commando 2 was the original title of it. So they changed it to Die Hard and got Bruce Willis. Everyone laughed because Bruce Willis was going to be in Die Hard, but then he became like this big action hero. Nowadays he doesn't really care, but anyway. But yeah, I just really liked it for the story. I liked the build up in the beginning because like the movie kind of builds up to the terrorists coming. Like nowadays, there's like these most movies they make them like really fast paced, and they don't really set time for the story. Probably because they're afraid people might get bored, and maybe that was a complaint for the first Die Hard movie. I don't know. Maybe people were bored by it, but I don't know. I really like the story, and I really like the Hans Gruber is freaking awesome. He's probably one of the most scariest villains, and so was Alexander Godunov. Here's a fun fact too. Alexander Godunov was actually the very first celebrity I actually got upset about when he died, because he was also in the movie Money Pit, and he played the villain for Die Hard. What's funny about it was he played the villain so well. That's like all the scripts he got after that. He had to like turn them down because he didn't want to be stereotyped as a villain. But no, he was a good villain in it, and so was Hans. And like the action scenes on it was really cool because I really liked that scene where Bruce Willis was under that table and the guy's like shooting him. Even though it seems kind of implausible in real life, that scene was still awesome. I love the scene when he was in the air dock. I love all the scenes where Alexander Godunov is chasing after him because Alexander Godunov was one scary son of a bitch in the movie. I remember it was like really scary to me as a kid, but yeah, there was a lot of good scenes in the movie. I liked the dynamic between him and that cop, where like they had this big black cop. He was on Family Matters, and like they like were they're on like this radio back and forth to each other, and like I guess they become like good friends during it. That one's pretty cool too. That's something I was missing from the sequels, which Die Hard 2 came out. I think like either a year or two after Die Hard. I think. But that was the first one I actually seen theatrically. But I saw that one with my mom and dad. My dad has never seen a Die Hard movie, so we take him to go see Die Hard 2. Now keep in mind there was no internet back then. There was no way to say, hey mom, I don't think dad's going to like this movie because I've been hearing it's kind of lame and it sucks. You don't get that back then. So like we sit in the theater, had no idea, we're hoping it'll be just as good or better than the first one, and dad didn't really like it too much. He never wanted to see a Die Hard movie again after that. It's not that bad of a movie, Die Hard 2, but for the longest time it was like the worst Die Hard movie. It was really boring and really lame. I don't want to say call it boring. It does have action scenes. It does sort of keep your attention, but the action scenes lacks really hard compared to the first one. It's also kind of like more of yeah, right. You can only suspend disbelief for so long at some of these scenes. Like that one scene where Bruce Willis was like on that conveyor belt and like his gun's like right up there, and there's that terrorist guy like he's not that far away. So Bruce Willis has to go and bring the oh fuck. Bruce Willis has to go and bring like the gun towards him, and then like the terrorist guy's running after him, and he had all that time to get to him, and like I don't know that one scene. There's a lot of scenes. It's kind of like that when he was like flying up in the air, and that when the jet's exploding, and he's on that little chair with a parachute on it. You know. Anyway, and the movie's not as interesting as the first one, but I like Dennis Franz in it. Dennis Franz, that guy is freaking hilarious in this movie. Like a lot of his lines, like I love Dennis Franz because of this movie. He later went on to be NYPD Blue, and I was watching him on NYPD Blue, and I thought it was great. But I was like, man, this guy looks familiar. But when I found out he was on Die Hard 2, he was automatically awesome. Yeah, Dennis Franz was great in Die Hard 2. Probably the best thing about it. Now, the villain of Die Hard 2 is pretty forgettable. The only way I can remember the villain from Die Hard 2 is like I think of Roseanne's friend, or no, Roseanne, Dan's friend from Roseanne, because that's the only way I remember him. Like, and that's, I mean, he played an all right villain. I mean, he was kind of scary, but his motives were like really weird. And you don't really care. They're just trying to crash planes to go and release this dude or something. So I don't know. And then like the military was in on it or something. I don't know. I haven't watched it in a while, but it was pretty lame. Anyway, Die Hard 3 is freaking awesome though. And I wish Die Hard 3 was the movie that my dad went to go with us. Actually, I went to go see that with my mom and stepdad at the time. And we all went to go see it. We all loved it too. Now, the best part about Die Hard 3, admittedly, is the dynamic between Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. Some of their scenes on that movie is freaking hilarious. And every time I watch that film, I laugh, and I'm actually just amazed at how well they work off each other in this movie. The action scenes were really good too. Like I love the movie for the action, like the all the stuff in the boat towards the end. I thought was really cool. Um, I don't know. The subway scene was pretty cool and everything, but and I liked Simon Gruber in the movie too as the villain. I still don't think he's good as Hans, but he's still kind of a memorable villain. I'm glad that Jeremy Irons didn't like get all cheesy for this movie or anything and act like the way he did at Dungeons and Dragons. That would have been embarrassing. But anyway, Die Hard 3 was awesome. I watched it over like 100 times, and it's I don't know. It's up there with Die Hard 1. Like, it's pretty close. But Die Hard 4 was pretty awesome, too. Die Hard 4 came out like a few years later. A lot of people hated that movie when it came out at the time. But it's directed by Len Wiseman. Len Wiseman, like, directed a lot of freaking entertaining movies. And he's the one that's writing Die Hard 6 right now. It's going to be called, right now, I think it's called Die Hard Year 1 or something. I think they had another title for it, but anyway, I don't want to get into that. But anyway, Die Hard 4 is pretty sweet. It's called Live Free or Die Hard in America, and then overseas it's called Die Hard 4.0, and it's called something else somewhere else. I don't know. I just know that the original idea for that movie was going to be on a cruise ship, but they didn't want it to be like Speed 2, so I think they used it for something else, but I don't really remember. But Die Hard 4 I thought was pretty sweet. Didn't have Samuel L. Jackson or anything in it, but I don't know. Bruce Willis I thought was pretty awesome in it. I also really like Cliff Curtis in the movie. I mean, he wasn't really badass or anything like that, but I don't know. I don't know. I actually kind of believed his character to be like this authority figure, and I saw Cliff Curtis and other things. I like, yeah, I really like Cliff Curtis. I really liked him in Die Hard 4. And there's another thing that's been like up to debate about Die Hard 4 is the villain. See, I like Thomas Gabriel. I like some of his lines that he gives to Bruce Willis in the movie, like, what? Say something funny. Like that scene where he was in Kevin Smith's place. I like that scene, and I just like some of the shit that he talks to him. I don't know. You have to really watch it, to. But I thought he was a better villain than the second one, you know. But a lot of people really regarded that one to being like the worst because Bruce Willis has like these superhuman powers. But one thing I really liked about that movie was that he was pretty much using ingenuity to get himself out of situations. Like that one scene where he puts that fire extinguisher out, and shoots the fire extinguisher, and they all go out the window and everything. That was pretty cool. Taking out a helicopter with a car. Now, I know a lot of people thought like that one scene when he was on the truck and he's going up against that like big fighter jet. And they're like, how can you be in a big ass semi going up against a truck? That is like I can believe a lot of things, but that scene. So I've seen that scene too, and I kind of agree actually. And that scene is kind of a little like I don't know out there that this big ass truck and this big ass fighter jet thing can't shoot just one missile at it to knock it down because those things are pretty easy to tumble over. But then you got to think to yourself, well, it's an action movie, but still, Bruce Willis does seem kind of indestructible in this because he got beat up pretty bad in the movie. But I don't know. I thought overall the movie is, I don't know, pretty exciting as far as like the action is concerned. Like I was never bored. I really like the chemistry between him and what's his face, Josh, what's Toth or whatever that guy's name is. The computer nerd, played by Josh somebody or other. He hasn't been in many films lately, but like I don't know, I thought he was good in there. But all in all, I thought the movie was pretty good action wise. Not too much to complain about. Like the villain, it was almost as good as Die Hard 3 for me. So when Die Hard 5 was coming out, I uh, I remember being really excited. I was showing like video clips to my mom. I was like, "Oh my god, mom, another Die Hard movie. We got to go see another Die Hard movie." So, well, we went to go see Die Hard. It came out around Valentine's Day, which I don't remember what year it was. It was a few years ago, and uh, and that movie really sucked balls. It's the worst of the Die Hard movies, and it's something that they can't even recover from. First of all, I don't really know why they had him set in Russia. Like, if I was writing a Die Hard movie for the fifth one, I would write it so he would be in Tokyo because it would make sense because like the building, the Nakatomi building that he was in the first one links to Japan. I would think more of being in Japan. A lot of people wanted like the script where like he goes back to the Nakatomi building from the first film as like a 30th anniversary or whatever it is, and then like terrorists take over again or something. And he's like helping with his kids or whatever. That script, I guess, almost went to fruition, but then I think because Bruce Willis is so hard to work with, they wanted to limit him as much as possible from it. So I think that's probably what happened. Anyway, the only reason why I think they had it in Mother Russia is so they can have a tagline, Yippee Ki Mother Russia. But the whole plot of the movie is that his son is he went to Russia, and then him and some dude got kidnapped or got captured. Bruce Willis comes in after him. That's pretty much the point of the movie. Nobody likes Jai Courtney, who plays his son in the film. I don't know why Jai Courtney puts a gun on him and really hates his dad that much, but he was involved in about the only good scene in the movie, which was like the car chase. All right. All in all, the movie really sucks. It was really short. Nothing really happened in the movie. You can totally skip this movie. Just watch it from 1 to 4. Good Day to Die Hard really freaking sucks. The end.